Hello you guys and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and as the title suggests, I am going to introduce you to our new pets. Now you might be wondering, did you guys get a dog or a cat? And honestly, I love those animals and that would have been really exciting and fun. But for our long days as teachers and not being really home enough to take care of those animals, we felt like that wouldn't be the right choice. We wanted, ideally, the most minimalist possible pet that we could get, and we actually ended up getting 500 of them. Now the pets we got are not traditional pets by any means. We're actually the first people that we know personally to have these, but it's been something I have been very interested in for a long time, especially since I was doing my zero waste challenge. So I'm happy to announce that we have 500 worms for a worm bin that we started. Maybe these worms don't seem like a traditional pet to others, but honestly, since this is the first ever living things that I have personally owned and been taking care of, it does kind of feel like a pet to me, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been bringing me a lot of joy. So those are the new pets that we have, and I want to take you along. I want to show you when we first got them and then give you a little bit of an update about how it's been going so far since we've had them for about a week. And honestly, it's been such a positive experience so far. I really love it. I love them. I will, even though you're not supposed to be looking at them that much, you're supposed to just kind of just let them do their thing. I do kind of check in on them once a day just to see how they're doing, watch them for a few minutes. So in case you're feeling annoyed right now, it's like, those aren't real pets, why'd you call it that? Genuinely, like, my heart is believing that these are my pets. I am loving them so much. And they are an amazing way to help reduce your food waste, especially in our case, we don't have a garbage disposal. The fact that these worms, as they continue to get bigger and consuming more, they can take care of any of our fruit and vegetable scraps, grains, beans, any plant foods really, which is what we're eating. Not only foods, but also cardboard and paper products. And these worms can turn these food and paper products into amazing nutrient-dense compost that can be added to soil. And so it's really just like the ultimate way to give back to the earth and to reduce our waste. So it's been something I've wanted to do for a long time because of that reason. So in this video, I'm gonna first show a clip of when we first got the worms and we're getting them set up, and then I'll give an updated video about how things have been overall in the past week. Hello you guys. So I'm very excited. Our pets have just arrived. Now I know that most pets don't come in a box, but in this box are, I assume, 500 red wiggler worms. That was the smallest size you could get. That is a lot of worms, but even with a much more package-free food system, I guess, there's still food waste and fruit and vegetable scraps. I mean, Jake and I eat a lot of bananas, like all those banana peels and other things, and I knew that compost was something I was always interested in, but when I learned about vermicomposting or having a worm bin, I was really excited about it because it seems to be something easier to have in an apartment or to maintain without as many like other bugs and things in the way. We're gonna have a little unboxing of sorts. This is the only kind of unboxing you'll ever see on this channel, a worm unboxing. Now, I genuinely have no idea how these will be packaged or what will be in here besides the worms. I mean, I think I've read something about I have to hydrate them after the shipping journey and that kind of thing. If this is something you're interested in, I will leave links below to where I got the worms. I've got my plastic tubs here, 2 tubs, this larger one and then the smaller one that's taller. So they'll actually be in here. I drilled a couple of holes. They aren't that professional, but this was my first time using a drill, so I'm satisfied with it. It was satisfactory. And there's some holes in the bottom for any extra liquid to drain out into the second bin. And in the bin, there's a mix of soil and newspaper and water, like it's been soaked. The soil and newspaper are damp, not dripping, but damp. So that is apparently what I need to get started. And at this point, I'm going to open our box. There have definitely been packages in life that I've been very excited about and very curious about, but I don't think any of them compare to right now. So I've got my instruction sheet. Oh my gosh, and I'm guessing our worms are in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're going to seem small and scrawny. They will regain their original size and strength within 2 days. All right, well, I've read a little bit about this. I am a little bit nervous this is my first time ever owning a pet responsible for another being besides myself that depended on me. So yeah, it's a big deal. So it says to make a large opening. That's the thing, even though I know it's worms and I'm maybe getting too excited about it, I'm just really happy. There they are. All right, I need to dump them all in all at once. They're so little from their travels. So here's, I don't know if you guys can see, here's one of my new pets. I'm so excited. They're so little. Okay, I have held a worm before. It's different now.
You holding them?
I'm only holding one of them. Because they dump the soil in so you can see some of them crawling around. So here's,
Ooh.
Do you want to hold one?
No.
You can see movement.
Yeah. So it's like already trying to go under there.
So that footage you just saw was from the first day we were setting up our worm bin and that we received our worms in the mail. But I wanted to give an update now that we've had them for about a week. So in our first week of having the worms, we've already seen them grow in size quite a bit. You saw in that first clip they were very small, a little bit dehydrated from the shipping process, but now many of them have grown dramatically, and we think we've even seen some babies. I still have to do a little bit more into the life cycle of worms, but it's very exciting there. But in terms of length, I would say some of them have doubled in size from the first time we unboxed them, and they're about 4 to 5 inches long, some of them. There's definitely still some tiny ones too. They range in size. Since they're still pretty small, and we did order the smallest possible shipment, just because ordering like 2,000 seemed like too much for us to get started at least, we haven't seen a ton of turnover in the compost yet. We've kind of started small, but we're using it for some of our fruits and vegetable scraps so far. And gradually, as the worms get bigger and reproduce more, we'll have more worms to be able to go through compost faster. The online guide suggests that if you have about a pound of fruit and vegetable scraps, you want to get basically 2 pounds of worms to be able to go through that like per day. But we don't produce a full pound of fruits and vegetable scraps every day, so we were fine with getting the smallest pack possible. It was pretty easy with the setup, just with some soil, some wet newspaper strips. We have added some food a couple times, just in these early days. Maybe I'm being like too concerned that they don't have enough or something and I'm adding more, but the idea is the longer that you have the worms, you kind of figure out what their pace is, and you're really only feeding them once or twice per week. So I think I'm just being a bit of an overbearing worm mom, I guess, at the start here. So I will probably ease up on feeding them as much, but I'm just, like I said, I was just a little nervous that I wasn't doing enough yet in the early stages of having these guys. Jake was really nervous that the worms were gonna try to leave the bin, but in general, as long as they have what they need, the worms don't try to escape or leave the bin. We have the 2 bins stacked on top of each other, and that seems to be working well. We haven't really had any issues with things getting too dry or there not being enough food. It's very fun to see them working on things. When I do like peel some of the newspaper layer away, it's fun to see the, you know, there's like an apple core and there's like 10 worms on it. So you know that they're doing their thing, and it's just been really fun to watch. I know for some, maybe worms kind of gross them out a little bit, but I just feel like I have so much fascination and appreciation for what they're doing, especially to try to help reduce the waste that we are producing. We haven't had an issue with any other pests as well, but we are leaving the worm bin inside just because it is winter now. We'll eventually, like when it's springtime, summer, fall, we'll be keeping them outside, but for this time of year, since it does get a little bit chillier, we're gonna keep them inside. However, you can totally have them outside as long as there's some soil kind of around the bin to help insulate it. We just don't really have that with our second floor apartment building. We have not had any additional pest issues, not really with fruit flies or anything like that. It's recommended that you cover the food scraps with some of the soil, compost, newspaper scraps, and then that prevents any smells as well. Overall, it's been a very positive experience. I do recommend it so far, although obviously we're early on in the process. I will probably down the road make a video after we've had them much longer and give you more details if you're curious, but I will also put links below to some of the online sites that I found really helpful when I was setting up the worm bin. Two of my favorites included a site from the EPA as well as a site from Cornell University. Both were very helpful in getting us set up. If you have any questions below too, I'm happy to answer those based on, again, my limited knowledge. And if any of you have worm bins, or if I'm doing something terribly wrong with this worm bin and you want to give me some advice, I would also appreciate that in the comments below. I do post several videos per week related to minimalism and healthy living, so if you're interested in that, you can click right here to subscribe to the channel, and you can check out some past videos over here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.